Hello everyone, welcome to the course of Discrete Mathematics. I think you all have watched the introductory video of Discrete Mathematics, which have answered some of these questions like what is Discrete Mathematics, why we are studying this subject, and what are the outcomes of this subject. So, as this is the first lecture, let's have some introduction of the subject. Discrete mathematics is the study of discrete objects. Discrete means distinct or something which is not connected. Modern mathematics uses discrete mathematics as it deals with the sets, not numbers. Modern mathematics includes relations, functions, sets, etc. So the very first thing that we need to discuss in this course is sets. Set is the basic discrete structure on which the other discrete structures are built upon. So let's discuss the sets. So set can be defined as unordered collection of objects. By unordered we mean ordering doesn't matter. For example, if there are three elements in a set, 1, 2, 3, so either we can write 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1 or 2, 3, 1 all have same meaning. The objects in a set have similar properties. Sometimes the objects in a set are called elements of a set or members of the set. The members of the set are represented by lowercase letters like this, and the set itself is represented by uppercase letters. So if there is an element x which belongs to some set A, we denote it like this: x is an element of A. So this symbol is read as is an element of or belongs to. So if this is written x element of A, where x belongs to A. Next is if x does not belong to a set A, we can write like this: x not element of A. So this symbol can be read as not element of or does not belong to. So these are the two symbols: x belongs to A and x does not belong to A. So these are the two symbols that we must remember, and we will be using these symbols throughout the course. So next we have to see some standard sets like set of natural numbers, set of integers, set of positive integers, set of rational numbers, and set of real numbers. So these are some sets. If these alphabets are given in questions, so we can directly assume them as a standard set. So next, there are some ways in which we can represent sets. So let's see the representation of sets. There are two ways to represent sets. First is roster or tabular form, and the other one is rule method or set builder form. So let's see roster form. So under curly braces, if we write all the elements of a set separated by commas, it is a roster form like this. Under curly braces, if it is written A, B, C, D separated by commas, it means it represents a set containing 4 elements. Let's see some examples. Like set of vowels in English alphabet. So under curly braces, we write all the vowels. So this represents the set of all vowels. Let's have some more examples. Like set of odd positive integers which are less than 10. It can be expressed like this: all odd positive integers which are less than 10. So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 are the elements written in curly braces and separated by commas. Let's have one more example. Set of positive integers less than 100. It can be written like this. So this is all about roster form. Under curly braces, we have to write all the elements separated by commas. The next is set builder form. So we can also build a set by describing what is in it. This is the format for this. Under curly braces, we have to write the general element such that the condition it holds. So this can be read as the set of all x such that x is greater than 0. Or in other words, we can read like this also. It is a set of elements containing all the values which are greater than 0. This bar symbol denotes the such that symbol, and sometimes it is also written as colon symbol. So x colon x is greater than 0. It can also be read as x such that x is greater than 0. So this is a set builder form. Let's see some examples. If in curly braces it is written k belongs to z, such that k is greater than 5. It means this set contains all the integers which are greater than 5. Let's see one more example. Like x is less than equal to 2, or x is greater than 3. So in set builder form we can write like this: x belongs to real number such that x is less than or equal to 2, or x is greater than 3. So this is set builder form. Next we have to see type of sets. There are various type of sets like finite set, infinite set, null set, singleton set, subset, superset, proper subset, equal set, universal set, and parser. So in this lecture, we will see all these type of sets one by one. So let's start with empty set. A set with no elements is called the empty set or null set, and it is represented by the symbol, those empty curly braces, or 5. So let's see some examples for this. A set of months with 32 days. So as we know, there is no month exists with 32 days. So in this case, the set will be empty. Similarly, set of dogs with 6 legs, set of squares with 5 sides, set of cars with 20 doors, set of integers which are both even and odd. So in all these cases, no such element exists. So the corresponding set contains no element, or we can say that the corresponding set is an empty set. Let's see some more examples. Like x is a natural number which is less than 1. So as we know, natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So no number is less than 1 which is natural number. So again, A is an empty set. Next we will see finite set. Finite set means the elements in a set are countable or in a finite number. So finite sets are the sets having a finite or countable number of elements. Let's see some examples for this. Like set of English alphabets. As we know, there are 26 alphabets. It is finite, it is countable, so it is an example of finite set. Let's see one more example. Set of natural numbers which are less than 6. Again, it is a finite set, as there are 5 elements in this set. So this is finite set. Next, we have to see infinite set. So if the number of elements in a set are not countable or infinite, then the corresponding set is infinite set. Let's see an example. Set of all natural numbers. So as we know, there are infinite natural numbers are there, so we cannot count those all those numbers. So it is an example of infinite set. Then set of all points on a line, set of leaves on a tree. All these are examples of infinite set. Next is singleton set. Singleton set, as the name indicates, it contains only single element. So a set which contains only one element is called a singleton set. For example, if x is a whole number and x is less than 1, so there is only one element, that is 0, which is a whole number and is also less than 1. So B is a set that contains only one element, that is 0. So it is an example of singleton set. Let's see some more examples on singleton set. Like x is a natural number and square number is 4. So there is only one element, that is 2, which is a natural number and whose square is 4. So this is also a singleton set example. One more example is the even prime number. X is an even prime number. So all prime numbers are odd, as we know, except 2. 2 is an even prime number and this is the only even prime number. So the set B contains only one element, that is 2, which holds this condition. So this is all about singleton set. Next we will see subsets. If A and B are the two sets and every element of A belongs to B also, then we can say A is a subset of B. And we denote it like this: A subset of B. So this symbol, the symbol is used to denote is a subset of or is contained in. So we can read like this also: A is contained in B, or A is subset of B. Now there are some points about subsets. that you must remember, like every set is a subset of itself. This is first point. And the other is null set is a subset of every set. So these 2 points we must be using in the questions also. Every set is a subset of itself and null set is a subset of every subset. Now the question arises, how many subsets are possible for a set? So the answer is 2 to the power n, where n is the total number of elements in a set. Now let's see some examples of subset. Suppose A is a set containing elements 2, 4, 6 and B is a set containing 6, 4, 8, 2. So as we see, all the elements of A belongs to B also. So we can say A is a subset of B. Other examples are vowels in English alphabet. So all the vowels, set of vowels is a subset of English alphabets. Like population of Mathura in Uttar Pradesh, like if we want to count the population of Uttar Pradesh, then population of Mathura is a subset of that set. Then superset. Superset is like whenever a set A is a subset of B, then we say B is a superset of A and we denote it like this, B superset of A. So this symbol is used as a superset. Example, set of vowels and set of English alphabets are there. So the set of vowels is a superset of this set B, which contains all the alphabets, English alphabets, and B is a superset of A. So this is a superset. Next we have to see proper subset. Proper subset can be defined as if A and B are two sets, then A is a proper subset of B if A is subset of B and A is not equal to B. So these two conditions must satisfy for proper subset. So this is a symbol of proper subset. This. Again, there are 2 points. No set is a proper subset of itself and null set of phi is a proper set of every set. So we must remember these 2 points. No set is a proper subset of itself and null set is a proper subset of every set. So let's see some examples of proper subset. Like A is 1, 2, 3, 4 and B is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 conditions are there in the proper set. Let's see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, all these elements are also belong to B, set B, and A and B are not equal. So the both conditions for proper subset is are satisfying in this. So we can say A is a proper subset of B. So symbolically we can write it like this: A subset of B. A is proper subset of B. So next we have to see equal sets. So in equal set we can define it like this: two sets are equal if and only if they have same elements. And symbolically we can define it like this: for all x, if x belongs to A, it implies x belongs to B also, and vice versa also satisfies. Like if x belongs to B, then it also belongs to A. So if this condition is satisfied, then we can say the sets are equal and it is represented by A is equal to B. Or in other words, we can say A is subset of B if B is subset of A, then A is equal to B. Right? So if A is subset of B and B is subset of A, then A is equal to B. We can say like this also. So let's see one example. Sets, there are two sets, 1, 3, 5 and 3, 5, 1. So they are equal because they contain same elements. Again, ordering doesn't matter, as we know. Next is if this is a set containing 1 multiple times 3 and multiple times 5, then it is same as set 1, 3, 5 because it contains both the sets contain same elements 1, 3, 5. So 2 points are there to remember. Order of elements is meaningless and occurrence of same element in the set also doesn't matter. So this is all about equal set. Next is universal set. A set which contains all the elements of other given sets is called universal set, and it is represented like this U-like symbol. So let's see an example. If there are three sets A, B, and C, A is 1, 2, 3, B is 2, 3, 4, and C is 3, 5, 7, then the universal set will contain all these elements like this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So this is universal set. Next we have to see power set. Power set can be defined as collection of all subsets of a set is called a power set, and it is denoted by P of A. So let's see an example. If set A is given containing two elements P and Q, then all the subsets of A will be like this: phi, P, Q, and P comma Q. So this is a collection of all subsets, and which is nothing but the power set. So as we know, phi is the subset of every set, and the set itself is a subset of every set. So these two elements are there, and P and Q, these are also a part of subsets. So these are the possible subsets for this given set, and the collection of all these subsets is nothing but the power set. So we can see the number of elements in a power set is equal to 2 to the power m, where m is the total number of elements in set A. Also we can see that possible subsets of a set are 2 to the power m, as we have already discussed. So, and that is a collection of all subsets is power set. So number of elements in a power set is 2 to the power m. Let's see one question. Find the power set of 0, 1, 2. So let's see the solution. We have to write all the possible subsets of this set, and the collection of those subsets is the answer. That will be the power set. So let's see. Like 0, 1, 2 is the set. Then all the possible subsets are these elements: phi, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 2, and 0, 1, 2. Like all the possible combinations of the elements, including phi. So these are all subsets, and the collection of all these subsets is a power set. So this will be the answer. So here we have to remember this point: empty set and the set itself are the members of this set. So this is all about power set, and by this we have finished the type of sets. In next lecture we will see the operations that we can perform on sets. Thank you.